Oh, what's up, race fans? KAMIKAZE-FOX coming to you, a couple minutes behind, which is going to be par for the course this year. I'll be running a few minutes behind some of these races due to some personal matters on Sundays. I go to church, I get home right as start time is kicking off, but we are picking up the action here. It's an 18-minute qualifying session. It's the round one of F1 2018, Season 5 of IRL on the PS4 platform. And we're just getting situated here, and we'll get into everything here in just a moment. Started with an 18-minute qualifying session, 4 minutes have passed. Looks like TJ McLean is your fastest driver so far. And we're just getting the stream set up and everything, so here we go. So we'll run down the drivers list and get into some information here shortly, but yeah, round one Canada, Season 5 of IRL Racing, F1 2018 on the PS4 platform, and so far only two drivers have set a time, and that is Alienware, that is TJ McLean at a 108.470, followed by Saba Siktu. We'll run down the rest of the driver lineup here. Agera R96 in the Renault, that is Reese Bibby. Sosa S. Sun is in the Williams. I often get his name wrong, I know that off the top of my head. That is Dante Thompson, followed by your league president, Sandre Sauerhog, in the Toro Rosso. Gabriel Ryan is out in the Haas. Louis Quinlan is in the other Toro Rosso, that's Beastie Kids. Gamer Freak is Rene van der Stap. TTJXJ. That doesn't sound familiar to me at all, I'll be honest with you. In the pits. Not 100% sure who that is. I'll try and get some information on that as we move forward. But he is followed by Lewis Marshall in the Ferrari and Jorge Carrera, who is yet to hit the track. We've also got Brandon the Man Glover returning with Mercedes this year. So we've got 13 drivers so far today. And I'm being told TTJ XJ is actually Jay Drawbridge, I believe. I know he was, I believe he's rocking the McLaren Renault. I do remember Jay Drawbridge from preseason testing. Proved to be very fast. He was actually supposed to start this year with F2, but managed to work his way into an F1 seat. And speaking of F2, you can definitely check out the F2 race that happened yesterday here in Canada on the IRL YouTube page. I heard that was a pretty entertaining race as well, so feel free to definitely check that out as we hop on board with Louis Quinlan. So 12 minutes to play, actually 11 and counting here. Just getting caught up to speed on everything. So we watched Louis Quinlan. He set the fourth fastest time so far, 109.648. Your only driver so far to crack the 108s. And you see Quinlan's all over the road. The only driver to crack the 108s has been TJ McLean. Looks like we're starting to get some viewers in here. Sandre and Lightning Kimmy have chimed in. So 13 drivers so far on this F1 weekend, as we are calling it. You see Sandre is going to head into the pits. And we'll try and pick up Rene van der Stap. Looks like he's out on the hyper softs as he comes out of the hairpin down the very long backstretch. looks like he's going to head straight on into the pits as well. So we'll pick up Felix Neguar in the Sauber Alfa Romeo, defending champion, and he has actually won here the last 2 seasons. Cameron Weston Edwards won back in season 1. And I believe it was Gabriel Ryan had won in season 2. 3 and 4 belong to this man, as well as the defending championship. We also have Nerbo Games chiming in on the live chat. Welcome. We continue to watch Felix Neguar. Neguar went on a tear last year. He actually won the first 3 races of the season, put him well ahead in the points, and held on to that points lead for most of the year. Matthew Alder had joined mid-season, and when Alder joined, he went on a tear of 6 consecutive pole positions and winning 5 of his first 6 races. And the championship came down to the wire. Neguar was able to hold him off, but Alder, we all thought in preseason Alder would definitely be the driver to beat. We did 2 preseason tests. Alder was fastest in both of them. A lot of the drivers talked him up as the guy to beat, and then Alder suddenly, after the last preseason test, decided to pull out of full-time contention and go with just being in reserve due to some personal issues. Being correct, Gabriel Ryan had won season 3. So with Matthew Alder out, puts Neguar back as the guy to beat, the defending IRL champion. Other drivers to watch out for would be Francis McGinn, who has not joined in today. McGinn was another very fast driver in preseason. A lot of guys looked at him as to be maybe a contender versus Alder, but he's also taken a little bit of a step back and not joining in here today. And you see Neguar goes second fastest. He's a half second behind TJ McLean. So let's just get our facts straight here real quick. So yeah, Cameron Weston Edwards had won back in season 1. It was John Hoof that had won in season 2. Season 3 was Gabriel Ryan, and Neguar had won last year. As we sit with McLean, looks like he might be getting ready to set a hot lap. Interestingly enough, 3 of the 4 past winners have gone on to be a champion, with the exception of Gabriel Ryan back in season 3. And you see McLean heads back into the pits. Pick up Louis Quinlan, who so far is 5th fastest. And Canada has always been the season opener for IRL. You may have watched SRL yesterday. SRL, which I commentated for yesterday, kicked off their season yesterday in Hockenheim. But Canada has always been the season opener for IRL, and I think it's a really good track to kick the season off on. I think it's... Oh, look at this! Oh, no! Quinlan just set the 3rd fastest time and lost it in the first set of S's and gone around. So 3rd fastest, but he is blown. He's having a hard time turning this around. Oh, and he slams it into the wall. Finally gets it straight and gets back going. And we will pick up Gabriel Ryan as he's coming up on the backside of Quinlan's Toro Rosso. And again, Ryan was the winner back in season 3. I mean, that was a very interesting race. There was changeable conditions. The lead had changed 5 times through the rain. And past podium finishers have all been Cameron Weston Edwards, Gabriel Ryan, Jimmy McCardell, who actually had a really good race here last year. Felix Neguar, obviously, with a win. Ethan Croft have all finished on the podium in Canada in previous years. You see Gabriel Ryan head into the pits now. pick up Lewis Marshall. And we've got Rush Viper, Ivan Brito, all joining in on the live chat as well. Continue to watch Lewis Marshall as he heads into the pits. For some reason, I can't catch anybody trying to do a hot lap. Finland's the only driver actually out on the track right now. Everybody else is in the pits. We're going to pick up Jay Drawbridge, who's yet to set a time. And again, Jay Drawbridge, very fast in preseason testing, was scheduled to be an F2 driver. Caution in sector 3. A lot of guys in the pits, probably going to do one final setup and make one last mad dash for pole. See Drawbridge is out on the Ultra Softs. Looks like he's going to set himself up for a hot lap here. We'll try and stick with him. Through the 1-2 complex, down to the first set of S's. Back end kicks out on him in just a little bit. Oh, and he runs very wide, smacks the wall. That may have cost him a little bit of time. He's 19-1 at sector 1. Oh, and he blows the chicane. And he's into the wall again. Jay Drawbridge is going to abort this lap, I'm sure. So we'll take a look at Reese Bibby. He's actually coming up on the back of Jay Drawbridge's car. Jay Drawbridge will head into the pits. We stick with Reese Bibby here, very close to the wall of champions. He's going to front throw us 109.456. That's 3/10 up on his best time. Stick with him here through the S's. Less than 2 minutes to go, 1:20 to play left in the session, and we make a mad dash for, and he's off by half a second over his previous time. And Lewis Marshall has retired from the session. Not sure what happened there. And looks like Renee Vanderstappen has retired from the session as well. Looks like they're going to call it a day. Third fastest for Lewis Marshall as it stands. Reese Bibby's going to come across the line, unable to improve on his time. We'll pick up TJ McLean. You see the Toro Rosso there. Oh, McLean! Oh no, McLean has hit, I believe that is Brandon Glover. No, it is not. That is the other Mercedes of Renee Vanderstappen, who was going very slow. So TJ McLean, he's got the provisional pole by 0.6 of a second. It looks like he was going to try for another fastest lap, but hit the backside of Renee Vanderstappen's Mercedes and finished him for the day. We'll pick up Felix Naguar, second fastest now. We'll stick with Naguar, see if he can put together a lap here. Ooh, Negwar runs just a little bit wide, almost brushes the wall. Gets the power down. DRS slot is open. Very fast there through that chicane. Heads get down the straightaway towards the hairpin. Ooh, a little bit of a lock up there on the right front. Cuts it back in. Puts the power back down. Very stable coming out of there. And Negwar calls it a day. Not going to be able to make that happen. We'll pick up Saba 6-2 in the Haas. He's 5th fastest so far. Brandon Glover has finished 6th fastest. Gabriel Ryan has finished 7th fastest. Some of the other drivers have dropped off. The only one still trying to put in a time here is Saba 6-2. He's got the DRS slot open. See if he can get a good run through the Wall of Champions complex here. And he is going to come across the line. Not going to improve his time. So TJ McLean, he is going to be your first pole sitter of Season 5. So here is your starting lineup. TJ McLean, Felix Negwar, Lewis Marshall, Louis Quinlan manages to get 4th quickest, Saba 6-2 5th, Brandon Glover 7th, Brandon Glover is 6th, Gabriel Ryan 7th, Reese Bibby 9th, Reese Bibby 8th, Renee Vanderstappen 9th, Dante Thompson is 10th. My brain's working faster than my mouth is. So Canada getting ready to kick off here. So it looks like some of the drivers we're missing today is the other Scuderia Ferrari driver. That would be Mark Horsfall or Matthew Alder, depending on who's driving that day. We've got no Force Indias in the field today. Noah Van Hoog has not been able to make the race today. That is going to be Jay Drawbridge's teammate. Joshua Dangle was unable to make the race. Jimmy McCardo did not make the race. And Francis McGinn, unfortunately, did not make the race. So it's going to be a 35-lap race here as we get underway with the formation lap. And again, your pole sitter is going to be TJ McLean, who has quite the reputation for being a very aggressive driver. He's a little bit of a black hat, but obviously today has proven to be very fast. Picks up the first pole position of the year. Him and Cameron Weston Edwards actually had a great preseason non-points battle at an exhibition race at Spa, where they ended up going blow for blow, running 5th and 6th. It was a very good battle, very clean battle. TJ McLean going to be your first pole sitter of the year. He's followed by the reigning IRL champion, Felix Negwar. Lewis Marshall 3rd. Louis Quinlan, who had his off in qualifying, 4th. Saba 6-2 is 5th in the Haas. Brandon Glover 6th. Gabriel Ryan 7th. Reese Bibby 8th. Renee Vanderstappen will be starting 9th. Dante Thompson 10th. Sandre Sauerhog, Scuderia Toro Rosso, well, I guess that would be a Toro Rosso Honda this year, in 11th. Jay Drawbridge is 12th, and then Jorge Carrera in the other Alfa Romeo Sauber is going to be 13th. So they're going to line up at the grid here. Let the grid get set. Lights out, time to run what you brung. A little bit of a glitch there at the start. And a good start for Felix Naguar, but TJ McLean's going to try and run him wide. Lewis Marshall looks to dive to the inside, and Louis Quinlan makes the move to pick up third spot. Marshall drops back into fourth. It's Saba Siktu trying to get around Brandon Glover here. The back end kicks out. He runs through the grass. And Quinlan is under pressure. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact there. Looks like that was Siktu in the back of Brandon Glover. He's going to have a little bit of wing damage. Looks like one of the Renaults is almost run wide there. And Siktu all over the back of Brandon Glover. Looks to make a move, not this time around. He's got wing damage for sure. We'll see if he dives into the pits or tries to stick with this, the opening lap. Lewis Marshall all over the back of Louis Quinlan here for the battle for third. Marshall thought about it. Looks like we got a move there in the back though. Saba Siktu locks up, and then we've got a move in the back that is going to be the Haas. That's Gabriel Ryan trying to get around Reese Bibby. Bibby takes the position back. Meanwhile, Saba Siktu still all over the back of the Mercedes of Brandon Glover. A lot of action here in the opening lap, but TJ McLean has pulled out to a 1.5 second lead already over Felix Naguar. You see Gabriel Ryan just brushes the wall. Oh, and look at this move by Marshall. Down on the inside of Louis Quinlan. Quinlan runs wide. Quinlan is definitely in the slipstream. He's going to try the outside. Marshall's going to make him go the long way around here into this last chicane. Out through the wall of champions. And Marshall picks up third and starts to make a little bit of a gap over Quinlan. Got Gabriel Ryan still working on the back. We've got a three-way battle back here. Oh, this is not going to work. Three wide. They're rubbing and banging. Oh, and around goes Jay Drawbridge. That was going to end in tears for all three of them, I'm sure. Drawbridge has gone around. He gets the car going, and he has left the session. So I'm sure not how he wanted to start his inaugural season. We've got a three-way battle now. Oh, and Louis Quinlan has retired from the session as well. So we've lost Quinlan, it looks like, due to a crash. Was unable to catch it. We've lost Jay Drawbridge due to possible internet connection or rage quit. We continue to watch the battle for, this is fifth at this point. Ooh, around the outside. Nice move by Saba Siktu over Brandon Glover. And TJ McLean has just picked up a time penalty. Quinlan has officially left the session at this point. And it's Dante Thompson getting past the, what essentially will be a non-issue. Jay Drawbridge's car as he's left. Got Jorge Guerrero. We got basically a three-way battle here brewing for the 9th spot. Somehow Dante Thompson has run the fastest lap at a 1:11. You see Glover working on Saba Siktu. These two have been going back and forth since the start of this race. We're working lap 4 of 35, and a lot has happened in the opening laps. A little bit of a lock up there from Siktu. Glover trying to close in. And right behind them, you've got the other Haas of Gabriel Ryan and Reese Bibby in the Renault closing in. So it's about to be a four-way battle for the 5th spot, 4th spot, if you will. Meanwhile, you've got Lewis Marshall starting to close in on the backside of Felix Naguar, and Naguar's actually gotten the gap down to less than a second over TJ McLean, so he was within DRS range at this point. Trying to keep up with all the action that's going on here in the opening laps of this race, the season opener. See, Glover just picks up a 3-second penalty. We're going to jump back to Glover as he's still working on the back of Samba Siktu. He's got the DRS, he's in the slipstream. Oh, and he's going to put the move in. But now Siktu's going to come back. Glover's able to hold on to it for now. Siktu's going to be in DRS range. We'll pick up the battle for the lead now, as this is going to be... Oh, and there you go. Naguar makes the move on McLean. And it looks like McLean headed into the pits. So now you've got a 1-2 here. Ferrari power. The Alfa Romeo of Felix Naguar, followed closely by Lewis Marshall. TJ McLean pitting awfully early. That's going to move Brandon Glover into third. Naguar now going to try and make a little bit of a gap. Reese maybe picks up a 3-second time penalty. I don't know why it's looking out the back of the car. I don't want to see what's going on back there because there's nothing there. Pick up the TV pod as we run down to the... And Marshall just not able to make a move. He is going to be in DRS range as we head down the backstretch here. Right up to the wall of champions, and they're coming up on the lap car of Jay Drawbridge, who essentially quit. His car is just moseying about itself, the AI car. See if lap traffic plays a factor here. As they come back up on the back of the McLaren Renault. Naguar able to, oh, what a move. Naguar's able to put the Renault, the McLaren, in between him, so that's going to give him a little bit of a gap. Oh, no, and Marshall runs wide, brushes the wall. So Naguar with a great move to use Jay Drawbridge's AI car as a pick, give him a little bit of separation. The gap was within 0.3. It's now stretched out to almost a second. Meanwhile, we're going to jump back here for the battle for third. This is Gabriel Ryan starting to work on the backside of Brandon Glover's car. Ryan's going to be in DRS range, has the DRS slot open. He makes the move to the inside. He's got the preferred line heading down into the chicane. And Brandon Glover is going to give up that spot. Now, can Gabriel Ryan do... Can he do to Brandon Glover? Oh, no, look at this. The AI car clearly got in the way. So Gabriel Ryan was able to kind of use that as a little bit of a pick as well. Not as big of a gap, though. And Felix Naguar has actually stretched the gap over Lewis Marshall with a battle for first over to beyond a second, 1.2 seconds. So Jay Drawbridge's AI car has actually caused a little bit of havoc now in this past lap. Felix Naguar was able to use it as a pick over Lewis Marshall. Gabriel Ryan was able to use it as a pick over Brandon Glover. In both instances, the gaps between the two runners have been stretched to over a second. So the cars are spread out a little bit at this point. We'll give you a little bit of a grid reset because you've got Felix Naguar is still your leader. And now Lewis Marshall starting to close the gap into him. Gabriel Ryan managed to work his way into third, followed by Brandon Glover in fourth. Reese Bibby is fifth. TJ McLean, who was your leader and pole sitter, pitted very early, is up to sixth. Renee Vanderstapp is going to be seventh. Jorge Carrera is running 8th. Sandre Sauerhog is 9th, closing into the back of Carrera. And Dante Thompson rounds out your top 10 points paying positions. And you see Bibby is headed into the pits. Closest battle on track is still the battle for the lead. This is under a second as we jump on board with Lewis Marshall. And we've got Chris Ryan chiming into the live chat. We welcome him to our live viewing here of the Round 1 F1 2018 in the IRL League. This is Season 5 kickoff. Sandre Sauerhog and Jorge Carrera are going back and forth now for the battle for 7th. Sandre in the slipstream, and he's got the DRS slot open. I don't think he's close enough to make a move. Oh no, oh, Sandre almost lost it coming out of the wall of Champions Complex. Brushes the inside wall. That's going to cost him some time. In the meantime, Lewis Marshall's closed the gap back down. He's within 0.6 of a second of Felix Naguar. The battle for the lead continues here. Dante Thompson has just picked up a 3-second time penalty, as well as Saba Siktu. Saba, who was running mid-pack earlier, pitted, I believe, and has fallen back into the 11th spot. TJ McLean had pitted very early, was as far back as 9th. He's managed to work his way up to 5th, and now into 4th as he makes his way around Brandon Glover. So he'll be one to watch. Lewis Marshall, though, still trying to work all over the back of Felix Naguar. Fastest lap now has gone back to TJ McLean at a 1:11.179. So we're going to keep eyes on McLean as he's starting to work his way towards the front. In the DRS range, he's got the slot open, not close enough to make a move. Ooh, and Naguar runs very wide. You saw this dust come up from the right side tires. It looks like he might have just kissed the wall. Oh, and a lock up there from Naguar. Marshall's going to try and undercut him. Can't get the power down. Looks like the back end kicks out just a little bit on that Ferrari. Marshall's going to be within striking distance this time now. Slot is open. Naguar taking the more defensive line. Oh, and he gets a good run coming out of the wall of Champions Complex. And again, Naguar's going to take the more defensive line. This is going to put Marshall on the outside. He just touches the grass. Naguar's able to hang on to the position for now. Marshall tries to undercut and come back, but he can't get the power down soon enough. Oh, and Marshall runs wide, drops the left side tires into the grass. Naguar right up to the wall on that exit. And Dante Thompson had just picked up another time penalty and has decided perhaps that is enough. DNF. Looks like Dante Thompson may have had an incident on track. Was not watching him, but Dante Thompson is officially out of this race. So we started with 13 drivers. We've got 10 remaining as we continue to watch Lewis Marshall work on the back of Felix Naguar. Oh, and look at the back end kick out on that Sauber. Trying to get that power down. And Marshall has headed into the pits. We're going to pick up TJ McLean, and he's going to overtake the 3rd spot as Gabriel Ryan just headed into the pits as well. So Felix Naguar is your leader. He's got an 8-second gap over TJ McLean. McLean pitted very early. Naguar has yet to make a stop. And there's going to be some shuffling going on here. 3rd through 5th. Possibly even 6th. We'll pick up Jorge Carrera. He's going to be able to jump a couple of spots. See, Brandon Glover's falling back to 7th. Sandre is 8th. Reese Bibby 9th. Sabasictu has worked his way into 10th. We'll pick up Rene Vanderstaff. He is on the backside of Lewis Marshall. These two are just coming out of the pits. Ooh, very high in the rev range on that downshift. You can hear it in the engine. Sounded like it bounced off of the rev limiter for sure. Rene Vanderstapp pushing it. Oh, but he's got the right side tires in the grass there. That could have ended in tears. Rene unable to make a move so far on Lewis Marshall. We are going to pick up Reese Bibby real quick as he is on the backside. Here we go. A lot of cars right here. Bibby on the inside of Sandre. Sandre drops the right side tires in the grass. They touch wheels just a little bit. And Bibby is going to take over the 8th position. We're going to stick with this mid-pack stuff right here. Actually, Sabasictu now is going to try and work his magic on the backside of Sandre Sauerhog for the 9th position. And Sandre's in the grass, brushes the wall. And Sandre may have a little bit of an issue with the car. Sabasictu's able to make that move. Drop Sandre into the last points-paying position. We'll pick up Brandon Glover. He's all over the backside of Jorge Carrera. Glover going to try and make the move onto the inside here. That's the last chicane. A little bit of puff of smoke out of Carrera's car. Glover's able to make the move at the Wall of Champions and takes over the 6th spot. Doesn't look like Carrera's done with Glover, though, and you see Reese Bibby has actually worked his way into this battle as well. So that's a 3-way battle for what could ultimately be the 6th spot if Reese Bibby can stick with it. See these 3 cars, you can throw a blanket over them, and then behind them you've got another battle going on. Looks like Sandre's trying to make a comeback to Sabasictu, but here you see Reese Bibby. He just dropped the tires in the grass. He's going to try and make a move. Ooh, and look at this. Carrera goes a little bit wide. Bibby with the crossover move. He's got the power down. He's going to be on the inside, outside now. Oh, and a big lockup by Jorge. Oh, but Bibby gets the power down, pushes the Sauber to the side, give him a little bit of a shoulder check, it looked like, to take the position. Meanwhile, Brandon Glover has been able to pull away from this battle, and in the midst of this, you've now got Sabasictu and Sandre Sauerhog have caught up to this battle, so that's a 4-way battle for what could be 7th. And Rene Vanderstapp had jumped into the pit, so everybody gets to move up a spot. So Bibby is 6th. Carrera 7th. Sabasictu 8th. Sandre Sauerhog is 9th. And this is just madness going through here. A lot of guys are cutting the corners on these. I should say pushing the track limits, really. You push the track limits here, you get a little bit of grass, and then you get the wall. You take a look out the back of Sabasictu's car. That is Sandre Sauerhog. Jump on board, you're looking at the backside of Jorge Carrera. 6-2 on the outside, another big lockup by Jorge. He locks up both front tires. Look at this. Saba gets the power down. He's going to try and do the crossover move. And he can't make it work. Oh no, and he runs wide. He's out in front, makes the move on the outside of Jorge Carrera. Saba 6-2 takes over the 7th spot. Oh, Noah Carrera runs wide, smacks the wall of champions. And now he might fall into the clutches of Sondre Sauerhog. Meanwhile, while we've been watching all of this unfold, we missed the battle for the lead, which was probably due to pit sequence. You see, TJ McLean has managed to work his way in front of Lewis Marshall. So Felix Neguar was leading when he went in. He lost the position to TJ McLean and Lewis Marshall. Felix Neguar is now running third, as things have seemed to settle down for just a second. So you do a little bit of a grid reset. You've got TJ McLean, who was your pole sitter, led early on, pitted very early in the race. He's now managed to work his way back into first spot. Lewis Marshall, who battled with Felix Neguar for a number of laps, pitted. He's now second. Neguar held on to the lead under the pit sequence, but when he went in, Marshall and TJ McLean were able to take the top spot away from him. Gabriel Ryan is comfortably in fourth. Brandon Glover is in fifth. The real battle has been between 6th and 9th. And as I'm saying that, we're going to pick up Sondre as he's starting to work on the backside of Jorge Carrera for the 8th spot. He's got the gap down to less than half a second. Oh, and you see Jorge run a little wide there coming out of that corner. Jorge's been struggling with some grip. He's locked up the front tires going into the hairpin a couple of times in the past few laps. He smacked the wall at one point coming out of turns, I think 3 and 4. He did hit the wall of champions. He brushed that. Another lock up there. You see the puff of smoke come out of the Sauber. And look at this move by Sondre. Oh no! And Jorge had run wide, takes out the brake markers. And creeping in is Rene van der Stap. And Reese Bibby has just picked up a 3-second time penalty. So the cars are now a little bit spread out. You do see Rene van der Stap now. He's starting to close in onto the backside of Carrera. Carrera has just been having struggles with grip, it looks like, these past few laps. And Van der Stap is there. He is there. Have Rafael Brito chiming in on the live chat. Not sure if he's any relation to Ivan, but always nice to have another viewer. And here we go, Rene van der Stap now going to try and go around the outside of Jorge, and Jorge is going to give way. So Rennie picks up 9th and is not too terribly far away from picking up 8th from Sondre Sauerhog. So TJ McLean is still your leader. 5 seconds ahead of Lewis Marshall. 2 seconds behind him, you pick up Felix Neguar. 2.5 more seconds back from that, you pick up Gabriel Ryan, then Brandon Glover. Reese Bibby, who's had a pretty adventurous race, 6th. Saba 6-2 has managed to work his way back into 7th. And Sondre is running in 8th, but here comes Rene van der Stap. You see TJ McLean picks up another 3-second time penalty. So a lot of time penalties being issued out. A lot of these guys cutting these corners very tight. Jorge Carrera is falling back to 10th. The last car running is Jay Drawbridge's, as you see, here we go. Oh, and they touch. Very hard spot to make a pass. Oh, and Vanderstappen gets in front. Sandre's not done. Tries to cut back in. Not going to be able to make it stick. And Rennie is able to pull a little bit of a gap. Sandre's still trying to hang tough. Rennie is able to pull away from Sandre, so your next closest battle is this, which is starting to unfold. This is the battle for 6th. You see, this is Saba Siktu starting to close in the gap on Reese Bibby. While this is starting to unfold, we're watching the times between Felix Naguar and Lewis Marshall. Naguar has managed to get the gap between him and second place down to a 1.5 seconds, so we'll try to monitor that as we watch Saba Siktu work on the backside of Reese Bibby here. This is for the 6th spot. You see Brandon Glover is just ahead of them. Pretty much had battles all over this track. Look at this, it's now within 0.5 seconds. Good turn in by Saba Siktu. He's able to get the power down, gets it underneath 0.5 seconds. He's going to have the DRS and the slipstream available now going down this long backstretch. Pulls out. He's able to make the move. Oh no, and they hit! They just brushed tires, and it looks like Bibby was going to head into the pits regardless. You heard the thump there as that left rear clipped the right rear. Bibby pits what's going to be for his final pit stop, working lap 23 of 35. TJ McLean is still 5 seconds ahead of Lewis Marshall. Marshall, though, you're going to see Felix Naguar just starting to creep into the picture there, 1.5 seconds behind. And Gabriel Ryan's actually creeping in on that. So about 1.4 to Naguar, and then another 1.4 back to Gabriel Ryan. Brandon Glover is solidly in 5th at this point. Saba Siktu has managed to work his way up to 6th. Rennie is 7th. You see TJ McLean has just headed into the pits. Not sure that's how a pit stop's supposed to look. So that would be the last pit stop for TJ McLean. And now the gap is starting to close, 1.2 to Lewis Marshall. And interestingly enough, as this gap is starting to close, Lewis Marshall and Felix Naguar were actually teammates last year on the Sauber team. And while Naguar was your points leader at the time, there was a battle between these two at Hungary where Marshall actually used a slower car as a pick over Naguar to take the lead, and that almost cost Felix Naguar in the end the championship. He could have used those extra points over Matthew Alder towards the end of the season, as Alder came in like a wrecking ball in the season last year when he decided to join mid-season. So these two have a little bit of a history. Obviously, Lewis has moved on to Ferrari. Naguar has stuck with Sauber. Obviously, very different Sauber over last year. It's not the blue and yellow Sauber Ferrari anymore. It's the Alfa Romeo colored paint scheme and livery. Very sharp-looking car. but the gap is shrinking. 10 laps to go, and it'll be interesting to see how TJ McLean's pit strategy works out. He is currently 5th spot, 10 laps to go. I'm guessing Naguar, if Naguar can get this lead from Lewis Marshall here within the next couple laps, I got a feeling Naguar is going to make a run to the finish on it. I don't foresee these two. Maybe Marshall will make a run. Oh, here we go. He's starting to make a move. Marshall may make a dive into the pits here late, but I think Naguar is going to try and run this to the end. Oh, and Marshall's going to try and make him work around the outside. A caution in Sector 3. TJ McLean just set the fastest lap at a 1:10.701. So McLean has now worked his way into 4th. He's about 13 seconds behind this battle here. Can he make up 13 seconds in the last 10 laps of this race? These two are actually going to cost themselves a little bit of time if they continue to battle back and forth. Gabriel Ryan just picked up a 3-second time penalty. You see he tries to get the power down, and here we go. This is the AI car of Jay Drawbridge. The good news is for all the... Oh, here goes the move. Naguar's able to make it stick. Oh, my goodness. Good run out of the Wall of Champions complex by Lewis Marshall. Marshall's going to try and late break. Oh, very tight going through there. Now can Naguar pull away? He does have about a half a second cushion now as he tries to extend that gap, but Lewis Marshall's still going to be in DRS range. And Saba Siktu now has left the session. He was running 8th. Internet disconnect. So his car will fall to the bottom of the running order over the next couple laps. So the good news is we started with 13 with essentially 4 drivers out now. Saba Siktu will be one of those rare instances where he'll be able to score a championship point without actually playing the game. But this is good news for Jorge Carrera. He'll be able to pick up an extra spot. And Sandre, who's struggled a little bit today, will be able to get around Saba's AI car here in the next couple laps. You see the battle for the lead continue, but it looks like Naguar able to stretch this out. He's keeping him at bay, and now Jorge Carrera has left the session. So maybe it's not so good news for Jorge. Disappointing to see so many guys leave the session early. I've never been one to give up on a race. You never know what happens. That, I guess quitting is just not my nature. You see these two. The clock is winding down, and I use that term loosely. The laps are counting down. TJ McLean is currently running 4th. He's about 5.5 seconds back of Gabriel Ryan. You see Ryan's just coming into the picture back there in the background. Marshall gets a good run out of the Wall of Champions chicane. Not able to close that gap and make a move, but he is there, putting the pressure on Naguar. Naguar makes a mistake. Lewis is going to be there to pounce. jump on board now. Down to the last hairpin. Oh, he catches up a lot on the braking. Tried to get the power down. You see the back end kick out on the Sauber. Marshall hasn't given up on this fight. Gabriel Ryan looks like he just slid coming out of that wall of champions. Almost brushed the wall. A little twitch there from Lewis Marshall's car as he heads through that first set of S's. DRS slot open. He's just not going to be close enough to make a move heading down in this next section of S's. Oh, but Nagor did just pick up a 3-second time penalty. That may, if there's no penalties from Marshall, that would ultimately hand the win over to Marshall. I can't keep up with all the time penalties, though. It's possible that Marshall's got more time penalties than Nagor. We'll see how this one ends. Marshall's there, backs off just a little bit. While this is all happening, TJ McLean has closed the gap to Gabriel Ryan down to 2.5 seconds. So I think McLean had the right idea with his pitch strategy today, but I don't think the execution was exactly what he wanted. I think he's running out of laps to try and make this work. The DRS slot is open. Take a look back at Gabriel Ryan. Real quick, we're going to pick up TJ McLean. Because now McLean is within striking distance of taking the bottom spot on the podium, taking away that third spot from Gabriel Ryan. Ryan's put in a really good effort today. He's kept his nose clean, run a very solid race. Oh, and you see McLean just brushes the wall there with the right side tires coming out of there. He's pushing the car so hard. He knows he's running out of laps to try and make this pit strategy work. Felix Nagor has now stretched the gap over Lewis Marshall to over a second, so Marshall is outside of the DRS range. Actually, Marshall has just brought it back. We continue to watch this battle here. Oh, and a big lockup there by Gabriel Ryan. McLean dives to the inside, and that is going to be a pass for third spot. And now the race is on. TJ McLean is 5.7 seconds behind second spot. Essentially 3 laps to go. We're going to jump back to Lewis Marshall. He is still trying to reel in Felix Nagor. And that gap keeps rushing right around a second. It was as high as 1.2. It was as low as 0.133 at one point when Marshall was trying to make a move. You see now Marshall starting to bring the gap back down. In the midst of this, TJ McLean is taking tenths of seconds out of the gap. It was 5.7. It's now down to 1:04. Oh, look at that. The back end kicks out of Marshall's car. Oh, and TJ McLean just brushed the wall back there. He picks up another 3-second time penalty. McLean is pushing. You can see him coming into the background there. Turns 1 and 2. These guys are leaving 2. TJ McLean is entering 1. 3.5-second gap back to second spot. He's got 2 laps to try and make this work. Time penalties are going to be a factor at the end of this race. It'll be interesting to see who has what and how many. We know Felix Naguar has at least 1 time penalty of 3 seconds. We know TJ McLean has at least 1 3-second time penalty. How is that going to change the running order at the end of this race? I'm not 100% about Lewis Marshall's, and we just saw it flash across the screen. Bruce Bibby picks up another time penalty, but this is about a battle. Oh no, and Sandre Sauerhog is retired DNF. Possible crash. Not able to see what happened to him. And here we go, run to the finish, the last lap. This is going to be a scorcher. TJ McLean, 2.5 seconds back. Oh, and he runs it wide and he slams the wall. And TJ McLean is done. Unbelievable. That's going to hit third spot back over to Gabriel Ryan. You see the broken left front suspension of TJ McLean's car as it sits there along the front stretch. So now the battle is for the lead is now between Lewis Marshall. There's a lap car in the way. Final lap. That's Jay Drawbridge's AI car again. Oh, look at this ducking and diving. Naguar cuts to the inside. Marshall's there to try and take advantage around the outside. Marshall swings it back in the back and kicks out. Marshall bobbing and weaving, trying to find a way around. Down through the DRS section, the last section of S's, and they make the run towards the final hairpin. And Marshall might be in the catbird seat. He's going to have DRS on the backstretch. He might be able to make a move at the Wall of Champions complex. Unbelievable turn of events here at the end of this final lap. He's got the slot open. It doesn't look like he's close enough to make a move. Can he get a run coming out of the Wall of Champions chicane here? And Felix Naguar is going to come across the line with Lewis Marshall in tow. Now remember, there's time penalties to be assessed. We pick up Gabriel Ryan as he comes across third. Brandon Glover coming down to the end of the backstretch. What an amazing final lap. Brandon Glover will pick up the 4th spot. You see the yellow flag waving at Sector 1. Glover seems to be happy with his finish. His Mercedes teammate will be coming in behind him in 5th. Reese Bibby is going to be coming across in 6th. And Jorge Carrera finishes 7th. Looks like he was battling it out there. Unbelievable end of the final lap was just completely manic at the end of that. And there it is, Felix Naguar. Looks like he will be your winner. Now that is officially 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row that Felix Naguar has won the race. So you're defending race winner, you're defending IRL points champion. Lewis Marshall coming in right behind him. See Gabriel Ryan with a very solid 3rd place running today. We'll see the official results after all the times are assessed. So Felix Naguar, Lewis Marshall, Gabriel Ryan, Brandon Glover, Rennie Vanderstapp, Reese Bibby 6th. Jorge Carrera manages to get up to 7th after a dismal race. Saba Siktu is 8th. TJ McLean, who started on pole and had an amazing run going, 9th. Sandre Sauerhog 10th. And then you have Jay Drawbridge, Dante Thompson, and Louis Quinlan, who all either quit or crashed out. And an unbelievable opening first round for this F1 2018 on the PS4 platform. This is Season 5 of IRL. Unbelievable. Now be sure to check it out. IRL is going to be busy again in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, we will have the Gran Turismo GT3 League will be running November 17th at Circuit de la Sarthe at Le Mans. You'll have that in the afternoon on Saturday, but Saturday morning on the 17th, you can check out the United States Grand Prix at COTA for F2 action. And obviously F1 will be at COTA as well on November 18th. That's Sunday, so it'll be another busy IRL weekend here in a couple weeks. And this has been an amazing opening round. Felix Naguar, your winner. And unfortunately, TJ McLean, your pole sitter, crashed out on the last lap. So, unbelievable run. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to the IRL YouTube channel. You can also check us out. You can check me out, KAMIKAZE-FOX. You can also like, subscribe, and comment to that. And again, we've got GT League, GT3 League coming up in 2 weeks, along with the F2 and F1 League. That's going to be November 17th and 18th. And again, GT3 will be at Le Mans. F2 and F1 will be at Circuit of the Americas. Unbelievable way to kick off the season. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at the next round.